I just want to make sure that I'm not like blabbing about the vertical world if you are already familiar with it. So I kind of just want to see if everyone's understanding of it.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah, so I'll just kind of give a brief introduction about Real Short. I wasn't gonna put like a deck up and go through like the boring stuff. I want to get to the way that we can communicate with one another and collaborate. So Real Short is the first vertical streaming platform for short form content. So short form content right now is everywhere. It's on social media. It's, there's shorts, there's short films, there's different ways to do it, but we primarily focus on vertical short form content. And short form content is growing so much right now. If you guys go into the entertainment app section on the App Store, let me check, because every day we're either like ranging one top 10. Check today. So if you guys go to the App Store, we are ranked right now. So right now we're ranked 12. Yesterday we ranked 8. So we are one of the top entertainment apps right now. It is a new market, so this is one of the reasons why we're kind of connecting with communities of filmmakers, producers, creators, anyone that's really interested in creating content, to kind of invite you guys to come into this new market and this new phenomenon of content creation. We all know that Hollywood and the traditional markets are all horizontal. So when you're looking at a movie, it's all widescreen, right? So there are differences that you have to create in when you're limited with a format that's vertical. So that means that now you probably have less of a cast member, less cast. Your blocking is different. Your framing is different. Your pacing is different. So this is what Real Short is growing. This is the market that's growing what I mean by short form vertical content. And I'll open up any questions at the end of, if you have any questions about like the market itself and how it's growing. But right now we have about 55 million active users. We primarily focus on like romance, telenovela, soap opera type of drama. And the reason why we do this is because it works well with the pacing. So if you think of short form content, you have a couple seconds to catch someone's attention. So if you have a couple seconds to catch someone's attention, you have to be upbeat. And I know you guys understand that because telenovelas, they're quick. Every episode, it's like something so dramatic, so absurd sometimes that you're like, but it's that beat. But we're looking for other creators and other producers, film, anyone that wants to create content to bring their creations to the vertical market, to kind of add to the pool and say, you know what, maybe a thriller can work in a vertical way. How would that look like? So we're kind of expanding and opening up pitches and content pitches to us. So right now, we'll be working with the Chicano Film Festival because we're going to be launching a contest. And you guys are one of the first people that we are I'm kind of speaking to about. So you'll have early access. So I will add a form here. If you're interested in the contest, the PR team can give you all the information, but I'll tell you guys a little bit of the contest now. Before I get into like the contest and how you guys can like pitch directly to us, is there any questions that you guys have that I can answer on like the vertical world and the short form content and the telenovela tropes? Yeah, of course, Patrick.
Okay, we're gonna unmute you, Patrick, in a second. Okay.
Okay. I think that's it. Am I unmuted?
Yeah.
Cool. I've been watching a few, and they seem to vary in their kind of episode length. What do you say? I mean, what's your kind of episode length idea?
Yeah. So right now we've tested different lengths for short form content, but the sweet spot is usually like 60 to like 90 seconds per episode. When you're watching the storyline, however, on the app, it loops. So you don't really notice when the episode goes. It's just about writing these short form versions where like someone can watch while they're on their way to work, or kind of like snippets of content. Because if you think about it right now, people are getting content scrolling through social media. So right now you're watching a movie on Netflix, but then you're also watching something on your phone. So both screens are fighting for your attention, and there's two different formats that it needs to be approached. Does that
So
make sense?
I mean, 60 to 90. I was thinking more like 2 minutes. Is that too long? Because I'm thinking, is that kind of like cliffhangery, like every
Yes.
60 to 90, right?
Yes. So it could go up to, there's some episodes that go up to 2 minutes, but the sweet spot is usually about like a minute to a minute and a half.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Are there any other questions on like the vertical market or just Real Short itself? Or if you have any questions at all, I'm here. I can answer how it works.
Sure. Like how is it monetized in like how does it work? Like does it go by clicks? Does it go by views?
Yeah. So Real Short right now, it's a subscription. So you can watch the episodes, the first 10 episodes, about the first 10 episodes are free. And then consumers can either watch it by clicking through ads, by watching ads, by purchasing per episode, or creating like a weekly or monthly subscription. So there's different ways. And because it's on the phone, it's very heavily accessible. So there's a lot of people that have access to the content. Right now, we have an in-house writing team, and we do have an in-house production team. So most of the content that we create is in-house, but we do license other content. We are now kind of opening that up to pitches because we know how it works now, and we're like, okay, now we can kind of test different types of tropes, different types of genres, and this is why we're making connections with festivals to kind of get you guys an opportunity to come in if you guys want to try a new format.
Okay, that's good. That's a good. I want to follow up on that. So you will be open to other type of formats. Going back on the creative side with the format you have now, I see that some of them have like maybe 2 to 3 main, characters, and then some are actually growing. What's that difference? Is it because of the actual storyline, or what's ideal?
Well, since we've been doing this since Real Short, the vertical market is kind of new. There's different ways. It's a completely new perspective, right? So you kind of have to think, how am I going to create a dining room scene in this amount of space? Whereas if you had this amount of space, you'd kind of like picture and stage the production a little different, because you could have a widescreen angle of 7 people sitting at the table. So now the storyline has also changed because you can't capture as much on that screen. And it's also the pacing. So it's not only the storyline that changes, it's also the production that changes as well. So when I wanted to do these Zoom meetings with you guys, because I wanted you guys to be able to ask any questions about the new market, right? So in traditional horizontal way, you approach it a certain way. This, you would have to kind of like approach it in a new way and kind of think outside of what you normally would create, or like you would normally think of. Like you would be like, okay, let me have a dining room scene with 6 people, but maybe now you have to say, maybe I can only have the father and the daughter, because that's the real point of the conversation. And I only have space to capture them too. So maybe I don't need the grandma sitting around because I don't have the space for it. So you have to kind of think a little differently. So that's kind of like the new challenge of creating for traditional and also creating for vertical and a new platform.
That's great info. Anybody else have questions? I know I got inquisitive minds on.
Yeah, of course.
Ken has a question. So we're going to unmute Kenneth Gonzalez. Can you do that? I'm Castillo. Why did I say Gonzalez, bro? That's my old pastor friend. Castillo. Can you unmute him? Okay, here. I see you. Gotcha, bro. That it, Ken. Wait. Bethany, can you unmute him? See, I need my daughter to do this stuff. All right, there you go. You're good now. This is Ken Castillo, amazing director.
Johnny, first of all, thank you for getting Real Shorts to come and participate with Chicano Hollywood. I don't know how many of these I've participated in, and you've always brought really great speakers that are, at the forefront and at the turn of something really big. I'm really excited about this new form of storytelling, Rachel, so I'm excited to have you here. I'm actually connected with a producer who just pitched her whole team, and I'm a part of that team as a director. And I'm just trying to learn as much as I possibly can before jumping into this as a director, not necessarily as a writer, because I know Real Shorts has asked my producer to have her work with an experienced vertical director first, have me shadow her, and then I would be able to then direct as many as I can.
Yes.
And so, but what I'm learning is you guys are essentially writing a feature film for 90 minutes of content and then breaking those down into 1.5 to 2 minutes, correct?
Well, we're not really approaching it from that direction, but I'm happy that you can attest to your experience about like kind of shadowing, because this is why we're having these Zoom conversations, right? It's so different that you kind of have to kind of learn it, right? So if you approach it from like the experience of the traditional, you'll be limited because you won't be able to think outside the box. So a lot of the times we really want to work with content creators because we have the capacity. We want to explore different genres and we want to create different types of things, and we need those great ideas. We don't necessarily write in a way of like, this is traditional feature film. We kind of write in a way of the story. So we write, okay, in this scene, what is important? And what can we capture in this one scene? And how can I keep you watching? No, it's first for episodes.
Okay.
So we really work on that. But those are kind of like more of like technical questions. I feel like depending on like the vendor and who we're working in, the relationship sometimes looks different. Like sometimes the vendor has a really strong writing script, so then we're working with their idea. So like if there's people here that have ideas, you can pitch that idea. If you want to produce an idea that Real Short already has, there's the direction that you can go in that direction as well, right? So there's different ways to work with us, and that's why I wanted to kind of just jump on here and kind of be that point of contact. So if there's any pitches that you guys have, you guys can kind of pitch it to me, and I'll get it to the right person in that direction. But I also wanted to talk to you guys about like an opportunity where you can get your content in front of Real Short directly, and you can get a prize and potentially a production deal, and that's the contest. I want to answer any other questions on like vertical before I like go and tell you guys how to submit. So did that answer your question, kind of? I hope.
Yeah, a little bit. And I wanted to go on, and I have another question in terms of casting. Do you guys have your own casting directors, or just each individual production cast their own projects?
It depends on how we're producing the show. If it's in-house, we have our in-house production team, and we have a whole functioning production team from VFX to post to casting to talent. It's a full functioning production studio, but we also work with outside vendors to produce. So it really depends on the relationship that you have with the production.
Yeah, so mine would be an outside vendor.
Yeah, we'll be an outside vendor. And
and submitting that work to you guys.
Yes, and there's different ways that vendors work with us, which is like full force production, like where we're doing rev share, or there's like where you can pitch a script to us, or we can pitch a story to you. There's very many different ways to work. There's not just one way, because the market is new, so we have to create those relationships in every direction and kind of see what relationships are most beneficial, like how to approach those relationships in the most beneficial way, but also teaching the market, right? And that's why you have to shadow someone. So we're teaching the market, opening the market, and creating the market at the same time.
Okay, great. That's all great, Rachel. I appreciate it. I have a ton of questions, but I don't want to monopolize, and I think other people will probably answer the questions in this.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Definitely submit your email to the submission form. PR will definitely contact you and kind of see how we can create that relationship within the company. If you already don't have it, I know you're working with someone, but maybe we can push it in that direction.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Awesome.
Great.
Somebody else had another question.
Ozzy. Yeah, go ahead, bro. You could unmute yourself from what I understand.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right, thanks for letting me join this meeting. It's my first time. So I had a question. So do you guys work with animation by any chance? I just did a 10-minute short that I finished, and I haven't I put it out there on YouTube, but I want to do a whole series. So if you could give me any advice, or if you guys deal with animation, that's my question.
Yeah, we're right now for submissions. We are taking a look at animation and AI. When I get to the contest, I'll tell you guys the different categories that we're kind of trying to dabble into. Right now, we don't do animation directly on the app, but we can host it. We just haven't kind of mingled with that trope.
Is it only
No, there's different. We don't do AI on our app, but for the contest, when I speak about how to pitch directly to us, there are different categories that we're kind of exploring, and animation and kind of AI is kind of one pocket that we're interested in. So if you're interested in submitting something in that realm, you can.
I created mine in Unreal Engine, so the whole thing's in that software. It's video game software, but they use it for visual effects, for backgrounds, like Mandalorian and stuff like that, with LED screens.
Okay,
so that's the software that creates the projections in the background.
Okay, so if it's kind of like a game, we do have another app, and you can take a look at it. It's called Chapters Game. It's more of an interactive kind of animated storyline type of book. It's more of a storyline animation. So take a look at Chapters app. It's the sister app to Real Short, but it's more of on a gaming interactive level.
Okay.
So it might work there.
Mine isn't really gaming. It's more just like cinematic shows. It's just created in that app, in that software, because it's easier to create the animations and.
Oh, okay.
But it's still
if there's a way that you can submit it, I recommend you to. Since we're looking at all different types of content, if the production team and the project management team really likes it, we can test it. But I don't know if it's only on that platform. I don't know if you can kind of send a snippet, but I'll tell you guys what you should submit, what we're looking for submission for pitches.
Okay, thank you so much, Rachel. I appreciate it.
Yep, of course, Ozzy.
All right.
I think Patrick, did you have a question? No? Okay, cool. Does anyone have a question?
Okay, cool. Other questions that I can see? Might be someone. Just put it in the chat. That way, in case I can't see you visually, I can check it in the chat if you have a question. So Rachel, we're going to talk about the contest, but also I'm sure you'll include there what's the best way that we could prepare to meet with you next week. My mind, I'm a producer and I'm a writer. What would be the best way that I could say, here's some ideas, whatever would be the best?
Of course. So we're going to be there at the festival. We're going to have a table. So if anyone wants to stop by and have a little conversation, I'll be there to present. So we're going to be present at the festival. And then I think we also scheduled some time to kind of have a workshop there too, which will be available for you guys. And I believe I think the session was 10:30 on the 17th, but
we'll confirm that.
So we'll be there present, and we are going to be present. The PR team and is going to be present for the festival as well. And you can take some time to take a look at these details of how to pitch to us, and then I'll be present there. If you guys have any questions or need to kind of have any questions on how to submit. But so it's perfectly aligned because we always wanted to create different genres. As you guys know, we are very heavily in romance and drama, but we are trying different types of tropes. We just tried a thriller. We just tried kind of a you type of love. We tried kind of a male eccentric show, more of undercover prison, kind of a prison show. So we were trying different tropes. But right now we have a contest, which is going to launch July 18th. So once I get the submission and all the information, I'll make sure to send it to you, John. And have you send it to everyone. But basically, all you have to submit is it has to be a vertical video. Let me give you guys let me pull up all the details. Okay, so again, controversial. What is too controversial? Nothing is too controversial nowadays, right? I don't think anything is.
Okay, yeah, Brian, you got your answer.
You could talk about the budgets, the type of budgets you guys work with for a series.
Yeah, of course. It's usually about like 150,000 to 300.
And that's for like a 7 to 10 day shoot.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Johnny, I just wanted to confirm that workshop. Is that a directing workshop on the 17th at 10:30? Or is it just an overall workshop on Real Shorts?
It's going to be an overall workshop.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just because that we don't want to make it too specific because everyone's kind of still learning about all the areas, right?
Okay.
So hopefully, we can continue working together and establish this strong relationship with the Chicano Hollywood community, and we can do kind of subsequent maybe Zooms if anybody has other questions in specific directions of the platform. But we can talk about that if that's something that you guys need. But so right now we're only looking for vertical videos, 45 to 90 seconds. So we're not looking for you to go crazy and make a big vertical, long 45-minute short film. We're just asking for 45 to 90 seconds to see what you can do with the space and the storytelling. Where you can either record it in a phone or a camera, English, and you can submit multiple episodes or just one episode of 45 to 90 seconds. Longer series, like 10 episodes or more, are encouraged because it shows the capacity that you have. And there's no exclusivity required. So you just have to hold the copyright. And previously submitted works, you can also submit. So we're not really looking for something too crazy. There will be a cash prize, but the production team will also be looking to see if there's any production deals that they want to offer for certain storylines, or seeing, if there's creators that they want to work directly with. So it's kind of like a way for us to kind of gauge what you can do with the vertical space within that short period of time. So you guys are one of the first to know about it. We're launching July 18th, I believe. So it'll be right in tandem with the festival, and gives you guys kind of like some opportunity to kind of create and see if you guys want to submit.
Awesome. So our opportunities that we have right now is to start prepping to meet with you next week. Now we're going to also prep for the contest, but next week then we want to approach you. What would be the best way? Am I approaching with my vertical, what you just mentioned, the actual content, or what would be the best way for a producer to approach you, a writer to approach you, a director to approach you? That way we can juggle all that and know how to be best prepared.
Yes. So right now we're definitely looking for vertical videos. We will probably have a contest or a submission opportunity for story pitches directly for the content team. But right now the production team is looking for vertical videos, so it is an opportunity for videos. If you have a storyline, you can definitely put your interest in the form. I also drop my email here, or email your pitch directly to me. I can get it in front of the content team and make that bridge. And if they're interested, they'll reach out to you. But I do suggest that if you're a director or producer, that you take opportunity to just create a 45-second vertical video, give it your all, because they're going to be taking a look at what you can do with the vertical space. It's very interesting what someone can do in 45 seconds and how they can entertain someone. So, there's nothing really to lose. You have cash prizes, and that's the best way right now to get your content in front of the platform. When it comes to if there's a vendor opportunity that you have your own production company that you want to start establishing that type of relationship, you can email me directly. But I also dropped a form here which is literally just a submission form for your name and email, and we will contact you if you're interested in coming into the vertical world. We're very interested in having new creators join us.
Perfect. Good. Patrick, you have a question? Dale.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I think you can unmute yourself. I think. Should I call my daughter? All right. Dale, bro. You're still muted. Let me see. Yeah, you're still muted, Patrick. Un momento. You should be able to unmute yourself on the bottom. Yeah, it should be on your end, but look on the bottom and unmute. Ahí abajo. Yeah, or type your question, bro, if you want. But for some reason, we can't hear you. But we know you're there. Patrick just produced an amazing movie called "Say a Little Prayer" and went all over the place. Okay, I see.
That works?
Yeah.
That works better. Okay. I guess we did produce a movie recently, and we're kind of the production company looking to become a vendor kind of group. And so I'm wondering, like in the 45-second clip, it's like, you'll be one would be competing with people who are funded and have lighting and actors and makeup and everything. So, does it make sense to try to adapt like something we've already produced and send an example of what we can do as far as production? I just finished a romantic comedy, for instance, so it's right up the alley of the genre that you guys like. So should I like send a clip of that rom-com kind of adapted for like I could trim it and make it a vertical and send a little scene and make something work in that? Or do you recommend like writing and shooting something new?
Well, I think either you can take it either way. Like you can re-edit something that you've already worked on horizontally and edit it vertically, but kind of edit it for that format and that pacing. And if you think that the storyline is strong enough, I don't see why not. We're really just looking at creativity. Because if you think about it, Real Short has low production value. It's not a high production value. When you think of Real Short, it works in parallel to Hollywood. So sometimes you want to watch a really good movie, and sometimes you just want to watch something to keep you entertained and to kind of fill in that time with family time. Sometimes you want to go out for steak, and sometimes you want to take out. So it's kind of like they work in tandem. So I don't want you to put that much pressure on yourself to be like, okay, I need to make a Emmy award-winning film with best talent and best lighting. But we do want to see how creative you can get with that short, limited amount of space and that vertical format. It's a new format. So what I would recommend is to take a look at a little bit of our content, maybe like the top, and see the pacing of it and see why it works, like why people are getting addicted to like the short form content and the vertical content. And then maybe take a couple minutes to scroll down TikTok and Instagram and see what's different about this, and then watch a movie. You'll instantly see how differently it's produced and how differently it's written. So if you can re-edit something that you have horizontally to fit that new form, I don't see why not. But you can also approach it from a new perspective of, let me write specifically and produce specifically for this.
Okay.
So I think that's your decision, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Any more questions? Put them in the chat in case I can't see you. Put it in the chat. That way I know you have a question. But, okay. So Rachel, we're going to be there next week. We're excited to have you. You're going to get, I'm sure, a lot of people wanting to talk to you and your team. So what I'm taking from this is like Patrick, a vendor producer and also a writer. I'm taking that if I just approach you, create that relationship with you, show you, maybe have something of my previous work, and then also have a vertical pitch ready. That would be the best way to come to you and say, look, I want to be, I want to connect with you. Would you agree, or what else?
I think the best way right now is to get your content in front of the right people. Mm-hmm. So to get your content in front of the right people is to submit. I think, and then to add in an added layer of relationship. If you already have your content in front of the right people, they're going to reach out if they like what you do. And we're actively trying to see people's content. There's a team that's going to be sitting there just looking at the content and seeing what's the best. So that I think your best approach to start that relationship is to see what you have, look at this new format, and give it a 45-second go, and see how you can start and jump in it. And obviously, I'm also here to create the relationships if there's something directly and different that you want to create as well, and pitch it in that direction as well.
Yeah, that's a good question on the other genres. Do you know of any insight on what they're looking for? Is it reality, docuseries?
Yes. So reality TV works very well with the pacing of a vertical. Drama works very well with the pacing of vertical. Romance works very well with the pacing of vertical. We noticed that thriller is a little bit difficult because think about it, you're going to hold that person for suspense for a minute at a time. So it's kind of like about creativity. Sorry? Okay. Yeah, so it's just about creativity. I can send you guys like the different categories and the different rankings of the prices and the cash prizes. The cash prizes are big. So I think the first 10 are in the thousands. I think it's like 5,000 or 10,000. But I will double check. It's a big pool of money. So there's no losing to submit. Because you can win money, you can win a production deal, and you can create the relationship with Real Short. But we'll be there next week. So I hope to see you guys all in person.
So action steps are for everyone to get the form that's in the chat, hit that link. You have that available on your laptop. And then fill that out. And then you also have Rachel's email that she gave it to us. You can reach out to her directly as well. So I love it. Thank you. If there's no other questions, then Rachel, I don't want to take all your noon time. I know you have a schedule here, but everyone that's on this Zoom right now, let's get our pitches ready. This is a big thing. Actors are telling me that 50% of their auditions are now with verticals. I know that. So it's a growing thing, and we got to get in the game. We are the masters of telenovelas. So
yes,
we got to jump in hard. So
yes,
awesome. Okay, well then let's do it. We'll end this up. Rachel, thank you so much. And everybody has a way to connect with her and me. And Rachel, I'll do a recap as well later on today. I'll send you an email, but I'll let you enjoy your lunchtime now. So
thank you so much. I really appreciate this, and thank you everybody for your time. I hope to see you guys next week, and really interested in working together.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Everybody have a great day. Talk to you. Get ready.
Bye.
Thanks.
Where's Brianni?